Welcome to another edition of Your County at Work, the show that brings you to the front lines of hardworking men and women of Newcastle County government. Today, I am happy to tell you that Steve Ruble, Project Administrator for Newcastle County Department of Special Services, is in the NCCTV studio today to talk about the latest happenings in his office. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Thank you, Waynna. It's a pleasure to be here.
So I know we've been really busy preparing for 2016 here at the county, and I'm sure the word busy is an understatement for you at this time.
Oh, that's for sure. In a nutshell, as far as what I do, I manage the design and construction of capital building projects for Newcastle County Special Services. From a broader perspective, what that means is I handle everything from initial budgetary planning all the way through construction completion, including handoff to the groups of users who end up, reside in the buildings that we create. I do everything from hiring architects and engineers. I oversee design. I bid the projects out. I oversee the management of the construction, and then all other aspects of the projects through completion. It can be a daunting process when viewed from the outside, and certainly there are just an overwhelming amount of details that have to be managed to effectively complete these projects and see them through to fruition.
So I'm sitting here, you named a lot of things that you're responsible for, so tell us your background.
Okay, I probably got a little carried away in college. I was taking as many as 22 credits per term in college.
22?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy there
Yes.
for a while. But what that allowed me to do was graduate with 2 Bachelor of Science degrees,
Okay.
One in architectural engineering and one in civil engineering with a focus on structural engineering. And ultimately that background allowed me to attain my professional engineer's license, as well as becoming a registered architect. That's pretty rare, that dual registration.
Yeah.
And so I don't know whether there are any databases on the subject, but my guess is there are no more than 1,000 people in the country that actually have both registrations.
So that must be advantageous when you're working with clients.
Exactly, exactly. Architects and engineers, and as well as contractors, they speak very different languages. Being able to speak those languages gives me a big edge in effectively managing my projects and working with all the team members.
Okay, so tell me about some of the projects that you're working on currently.
Sure, I've got my hands on about 25 projects right now, but certainly the most important one, or the one that will have the greatest impact to the citizens of Newcastle County, is the Route 9 Library project.
Yes.
Site work's underway right now on a new 43,000 square foot library. It will provide an underserved area of Newcastle with a wealth of cutting technology and resources. Yeah, currently Newcastle County is working on a number of revitalization projects, working with community groups, and ultimately using the library as a springboard to change the face of the Route 9 corridor in Newcastle. We were presented with a challenge to create the best library in the country. And to be honest, I don't think there's another library in the world that will have all the services, resources, and offerings that this library will have.
I do know. Well, first I want to put a plug here that Councilman Jay Street was very adamant about what they call in the Innovation Center.
Mm-hmm.
And so the county exec, allowed everyone to go move forward with it. And so, yeah, and I hear that it keeps getting bigger and bigger.
It is, and community services traveled, around the country and to some places outside of the country to see what other libraries were doing. We've pulled all that information together, and we have a library here that just, again, is providing just a wealth of cutting-edge technology and resources that is greatly going to benefit the citizens of Newcastle County.
Are you able to tell us what is going to be different from the Innovation Center compared to other libraries that people are used to going to?
Well, the Innovation Center right now is probably a gleam in everyone's eye. We really don't have any clients currently set up to reside on the Innovation Campus. But we hope down the road that we can get clients and businesses that somehow relate to the technology and the resources and businesses that can really benefit the Newcastle County citizens and the citizens of Newcastle specifically.
Okay. The Innovation Center sounds very interesting, and I know that it's going to impact a lot of people in the community.
Yeah, it's true. Speaking for all the team members on the project, this is one of those rare projects that just exemplifies what we're all in the business for, and that's to positively impact the people around us. Mm-hmm. To paraphrase a quote from Khalil Gibran, I slept and dreamed that life was joy. I awoke and realized that life was service. And then, I realized that service was joy. And so I think that summarizes how the project team members have really approached this project. And if all goes well and we remain on schedule, we'll have some sort of a ceremonial opening toward the end of the year and ultimately have a grand opening spring, summer of 2017.
Okay. Tell us what else that you do here at Newcastle County Government.
Well, one of the things that I really just love about my job is just working with the different people in the different departments. I work with the finance group on a daily basis, land use, law, public safety, purchasing, certainly community services, and especially special services. There is so many exceptionally talented and dedicated people here at the county, and it just on a daily basis makes my job interesting and fresh.
Can you think, well, first of all, how long have you been working for the county?
I've been here 5 years.
5 years, okay.
Yeah.
What projects stick outside of the Innovation Center sticks in your mind that you really enjoyed being a part of?
Well, I was brought on 5 years ago to do the Claymont Library project. So that was the key project that I had to take on, hitting the ground running here. But we've done so many projects, and they've all been a lot of fun. But the library projects are certainly the largest projects that I get to work on, and so they certainly have the most value and impact for the citizens of Newcastle County. So they're fun.
I was surprised, Steve, when you said that you've only been here for 5 years with all the projects that you have your hands on. It sounded like you've been here for like 20 years. Yeah,
it's amazing. We've accomplished a lot in the 5 years that I've been here. And special services, you can feel a newfound energy there and a strategic vision. We've spent a lot of time refining and recreating all aspects of how we do business. And I think that energy will carry on through the next 5 years and certainly beyond.
Very good. And we're certainly excited about the progress that's going on that you are a part of. And is there anything else that you want to tell us about yourself or the department?
Yeah, I just realized this month that this will be my 30th year in the business, which is somewhat of an accomplishment when you realize the kind of turnover that you see in the design and construction field. So that's pretty cool.
Okay. Well, thank you so very much for being a part of NCCTV Studio today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Waynna.
Okay. That brings us to a conclusion of another episode of Your County at Work. I hope you learned something today. Please keep in tune to NCCTV to learn more about your local government. Thank you for watching. This is Waynna Dobson signing off until next time.